The Russian Federation has embarrassed itself in front of the whole world. A failed rocket launch poisoned residents of nearby settlements. Kadyrov is stepping down and looking for a successor. The NATO counterpart Erdoğan and Aliyev set Putin up. Budanov threatens Trump. Dolina is being cancelled in Russia. Apartment fraud has increased. Babushka Krypton, Wagner has settled in Ukraine and elsewhere. I've gathered a lot of interesting news for you, and believe me, we'll have plenty to discuss today. So let's get started. The unparalleled Russians have once again embarrassed themselves before the whole world, because they wrapped up their so-called unparalleled test with a loud, in every sense of the word, failure. At the Yasny test site near Orenburg, a rocket exploded yesterday just after lifting off the ground. That's exactly where the cosmodromes and the missile forces base are located.
Hey. Come on. Come on. I thought it would fly downward. Oh, something fell. Yeah, it's gone, yeah. For real? Yeah. What do you mean? It's already falling? That's it? Hold on. There are, in fact, many different and various things to consider.
Rumors going around that it was the very same Sarmat missile. However, as OSINT analysts note, it was most likely a UR-100N missile. The rocket's smoke trail is alarming because of its purplish color. The crash site is one of the few locations from which the Russians launch long-range missiles, including those capable of carrying nuclear warheads. Such a color of smoke is characteristic only of missiles that use extremely toxic fuel vapor. But the local residents will not be evacuated. The Russians are unlucky not only with missiles, but also with tankers. Off the coast of Turkey, 2 tankers from the Russian Shadow Fleet, sailing under the flag of Gambia and under international sanctions, caught fire. A fire broke out on board. The 25-member crew is being urgently evacuated.
This actually happened, and it was quite significant.
"80 kilometers from the Turkish coast. The sailors reported a drone attack. But the Turks helped as much as they could. They simply reported the news and said that the condition of 19 crew members is normal. The causes of the fires have not been disclosed, but it has become known that this was the work of the SBU and the Ukrainian Navy. They were the ones who attacked the tankers in the Black Sea with Sea Baby drones. Meanwhile, fighting continues on the front line. But as we already know, the Russians are also fighting against civilians. Moreover, they are hunting them and striking at civilians with drones. For example, in Kostiantynivka, Donetsk region, a Russian Molniya drone flew into a residential area of the city. It hovered over civilians and was preparing to strike them. But the Ukrainian armed forces managed to shoot it down while the Russians were still aiming. In this way, they saved the city's civilians. The UAV interceptors of the 28th Mechanized Brigade reacted instantly and destroyed the Molniya. Bravo! I know that many of you are watching us from outside Ukraine. I'm curious, which country are you watching this video from? I know that many people here are even from Russia, as well as from Europe and America. Do you support the Russian Federation, or are you one of the reasonable ones? Write in the comments. I'd be interested to know where you're watching from and your opinion on what's happening. An era is coming to an end. The head of Chechnya, Don Kadyrov, may step down if his health worsens. And as we know, his health is deteriorating. According to Russian media, specifically the publication Nezigar, citing its sources, Kadyrov is undergoing hemodialysis, a procedure that cleanses the blood of toxins and excess fluids using an artificial kidney machine. In other words, Kadyrov's kidneys are failing. For now, he is still able to work and even travel. But there's one catch. Over
the years of the Chechen leader's illness, his PR team and Chechen journalists have learned to conceal his serious physical condition. Whenever possible, they try not to show the head of Chechnya, using close-up shots and other tricks when he is walking. The problem is, it's unclear how long Kadyrov will be able to remain in this physical state. Doctors say that a sudden deterioration in health could happen at any moment. In 2026, elections for the head of Chechnya are scheduled to take place. But
Can the Kadyrov dynasty continue to hold power? The question remains open. After all, Adam has just turned 18. And only a candidate who is already at least 30 years old can become the head. I wonder, what if a Russian person became the head there? But it seems that Ilham Aliyev could become the head of Chechnya since he continues to expand his power in the Caucasus. And not on his own, but with the help of the powerful Erdoğan. As Russians write, Aliyev and Erdoğan have come up with a way to stab Putin in the back once again. In the Russian Federation, attention has been drawn to a new round of cooperation between Turkey, Azerbaijan, and other Turkic peoples. Federal media and the Organization of Turkic States, also known as the OTS. The summit that took place in October in Azerbaijan has already been called the NATO equivalent for Central Asia and the South Caucasus. The Kremlin is concerned. We
see that Aliyev practically considers himself the master of the Caucasus, especially with Erdoğan standing behind him. Right now, they are not fighting. They are building up military strength and profiting from us by helping to circumvent sanctions in several areas, the source said. At the same time, it is clear that such an increase in the roles of Baku and Ankara requires an adequate response from Moscow before it is too late.
If it does become too late, Russia will soon face problems. And the actions of Turkey and Azerbaijan have coincided with the weakening of Kadyrov's influence in the Muslim world. With its aggression, military aggression, Russia is digging its own grave. Friends, what do you think about this? Write your opinion in the comments. You know I'm always in touch and I read everything. So I'll be waiting for you there. And don't forget to like this video. It's a small action from you, but a big support for the entire Intren team. Meanwhile, there are major changes happening in the Ukrainian government. Yesterday, the head of the office of the president of Ukraine, Andriy Yermak, stepped down. Until recently, he was a friend and the right-hand man of Volodymyr Zelensky. Just a few days ago, his place was searched. Yermak himself decided not to waste any time and told journalists from the New York Post that he doesn't want to create problems for the president of Ukraine. And that's exactly why he decided to step down and head to the front lines. But who will be in the negotiation team now? According to media reports, most likely the Ukrainian delegation at the negotiations in the US may be headed by the head of the GUR, Kirilo Budanov. And according to American journalists, he is already on his way to Washington. Budanov is exactly the kind of person who can quickly change anyone's mind and explain why things should be one way and not another. And for Putin, that's not very advantageous. Moreover, there are rumors in the media that Budanov might make subtle threats. How true this is, no one knows. We'll see based on the results of the negotiations. And in Ukraine, Putin's rats have been found, who apparently were planning not to return to Russia. In the Odessa and Kharkiv regions, apartments, houses, and land plots belonging to the Vagner PMC were discovered. This was reported by the Prosecutor General's office. The properties have already been seized and sealed. Later, assets belonging to individuals from the Russian PMC Ryadud were also found. Most likely, they plan to stay in Ukraine since it's safer here than going back home, especially.
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine Today. Join us now.
After the mutiny and Prigozhin's elimination. Now there's some kind of commotion going on with real estate in Russia. It's now difficult not only to buy an apartment or house there, but also to sell one. This is called the Dolina effect. We're talking about the pro-Putin singer Larisa Dolina. Remember that high-profile incident when Ukrainian scammers managed to seize her apartment and money online? So afterwards, Dolina, who pulled every string she could, got her apartment back, but not a single ruble was returned to the actual buyer. After all, the apartment was sold officially and was officially purchased. That's when the Dolina effect and the Dolina scheme appeared. After all, the number of cases has increased where the court returns the apartment to the seller who was under the influence of scammers, while the buyer is left with nothing.
How I made 112 million rubles. Anyone can do it easily, and any court will take your side. So I sold my apartment in Shapovo for 22,400,000 rubles and immediately transferred the money to scammers in Thailand. Then I went to court. The deal was declared invalid because I was under pressure from scammers. As a result, I kept the apartment. I'm flying to Thailand, did this 5 times, and
as such, it is therefore we can see.
It later turned out Delina not only got her apartment back, but also 3 million rubles in realtor commission.
A real 3-act drama. Act 1. Scammers call Larisa Delina and tell her, sell your apartment and give us the money. She sells the apartment, hires a real estate agency, and gives the money to the scammers. After that comes Act 2. Larisa Delina files a lawsuit and says, damn, I was deceived by scammers, I gave them all the money. And the court tells her, well, fine, we'll give you your apartment back, and that's it. The buyer didn't get their money back. Everyone was a bit shocked. Why didn't the buyer get anything back? But, well, shit happens. Act 3. It turns out Larisa Delina filed a lawsuit against the real estate agency, against the realtors, and she won 3 million rubles from the realtors for services not rendered. So you see, she got the apartment and 3 million rubles from the realtors because the deal didn't go through. She came in with an apartment and walked out with the apartment and 3 million rubles.
This wave of lawsuits destroyed trust in the secondary housing market. People are now afraid to buy property from elderly sellers. Transactions have become more complicated. In Moscow, there's even a wall of luck that's appeared. For good luck.
Muscovites have a new urban legend. Buyers of secondary real estate bring various souvenirs to the House of Luck. Toys, locks, candles. And the most interesting thing is that they bring slippers. Slippers are a symbol of home comfort. According to the legend, if you bring slippers to the House of Luck before buying an apartment, the deal will go smoothly. The seller won't fall under the influence of scammers and later won't demand the apartment back.
Now, the House of Luck is being cancelled in Russia. Concerts are being shut down, and Burger King has even announced the cancellation of deliveries to the House of Luck. People are rebelling. Even the old fortune teller decided to get into real estate trading. She decided to sell her apartment to make money on cryptocurrency. Scammers promised her that she would come out ahead, get her home back, and earn interest from crypto. But predictably, they disappeared. And now the old lady is also trying to get her apartment back.
The deal will be completed on Wednesday. You will receive the money out of 100 and the apartment will be registered to the first party. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Please tell us, does this apartment currently have any outstanding debts?
The apartment has no debts, none at all.
You are selling without any outside influence, meaning no one is pressuring you?
No one is influencing me.
Was this your decision? You transacted, you are selling an apt.
Yes.
The guy who was buying the apartment was cautious and recorded her words that she was selling without any pressure. And it was for good reason, because later he got a call from the police. The scheme is the same.
The scammers told her, sell the apartment, you'll make more money, and then you'll get it back. I just don't understand how someone could fall for that.
Now, at this very moment in time, we are commencing.
The pensioner, realizing she had been scammed, simply doesn't let the new owner into the apartment and tries to annul the deal through the police. She didn't make money on crypto, but at least she kept her apartment. But there are things more important than an apartment, namely heating. In the Chelyabinsk region, they've already hit rock bottom 3 times over. Residents of the Kusinsky district wash dishes, do laundry, and take showers right in the water from the pipes that carry the heating. After all, hot water stopped coming out of the tap a long time ago. Officials saw this improvisation and decided not to solve the problem, but instead poured green dye into the system so they could catch the hot water thieves by the green tint of their skin. Patriotic, to say the least. Meanwhile, Roskomnadzor may completely block WhatsApp in Russia. According to the agency, the platform allegedly does not take measures to prevent violations of the law in the country. But as we know, they just want to restrict Russians from communicating with the outside world. But what's interesting is that Russians themselves, especially those who supposedly possess critical thinking, have no idea what this could lead to.
Tell me, please, how do you feel about the possible internet shutdown in Russia? We
haven't been blocked. Everything is fine for us.
It hasn't been blocked yet, but in some regions they're already shutting it off from time to time.
Nothing is blocked here. Everything is fine.
They're promising it from March 1st, 2026.
They didn't promise anything here. I'm from Yekaterinburg. And
what if that happens?
I have Boyko at home. I have Boyko at home. Apparently, not only do they have Wi-Fi at home, but also a tinfoil hat. And finally, here's a money-making scheme from representatives of the Roma community. In Chuvashia, Roma people pretended to be sex workers over the phone. They posted profiles of women online, and communicating with potential clients using female voices drew them into conversations. After that, the same clients would get calls from a male voice pretending to be a pimp, demanding money and threatening to expose them or cause trouble. They managed to scam about 600,000 rubles this way, but the police caught them. Well, that's some ingenuity.
They use female voices for prostitution schemes. Did you post the profiles yourself? Yes. Oh.
The people from Cheboksary learned about this scam method online and decided to take the risk while they were outside of Chuvashia. Their very first attempt brought them 15,000 rubles, and the duo adopted this trick as their go-to method.
The information was of an operational nature, indicating that they were engaged in fraudulent activities by posting profiles on specialized websites under the guise of providing intimate services.
The bait for clients seeking erotic adventures was photos of random attractive women. All that was left for the brothers was to sweet-talk the clients a bit over the phone.
Hello, yes, hi. A little back and forth, and that's it. Hello, hi. How are you? Do you want me to come to you, or will you come yourself? It's 3,000 per hour.